All right, welcome back to another edition of the New Mexican Sports Podcast. I am sports editor Will Weber, joined by James Barron. James, this is the second podcast we've had this week.
I know. Would you call this a
The
special
special,
podcast?
the
Yeah.
special podcast. I always like it when we have student athletes on because this is just different. We can have adults and have coaches on, but they're always kind of lame. They don't really say anything. Like they're measured. You never
Yeah. I
know
was
what
gonna
you're going to
say,
get out of a student
kids are
athlete.
unfiltered, man. That's what they
Exactly.
are.
Which is why we're bringing on Kamal Stith, the quarterback of the undefeated St. Mike's football team, and Isaiah Dominguez, who may or may not have had a 97-yard touchdown run last week. Might have been 96. The running back for St. Mike's. Of course, they're at the centerpiece of a team that's going for a three-peat this weekend. They'll be playing Dexter on Saturday in the Class 3A championship. Guys, welcome to our little podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
James, fire away, man. I know you've been dying to
Alrighty,
ask these
then.
guys.
We'll give it a shot. Well, first of all, I know this almost seems like it's just expected at St. Mike's and everything, but when you get to this point in the year and you got one game left in the season, you're playing for a blue trophy and everything. Um, how much do you appreciate this moment here? I mean, being able to to have this opportunity yet again. I mean, God, this is what, 5 years in a row now that they've made it to the finals.
I mean, it's definitely special. Being part of something that's so big and so well respected throughout the community is a big thing. It's very exciting.
What about for you, Zay?
I mean, I'm just happy to be with all my teammates, just to live in this type of moment with all these guys. I mean, I've practiced with these guys for like 5 years now, so it's just a blessing.
Kamal, last year you were essentially the backup to Reed Bass, but we saw flashes of what you could do. And now that this is your offense, this is your team. You have a chance to be the starting quarterback, and you made that impact right away in that first game against Taos. But I got to ask you, that development could not have been easy because I'm sure you want to be on the field all the time. What was the process like of playing the last couple of years as the backup and finally getting a chance to start?
I mean, most definitely. Coach, last year he kind of split me and Reed's time on the field, so that allowed me to gain some experience and comfortability on the field. So come this year, I was comfortable and confident coming out here. So yeah.
Isaiah, let's talk about you, man. I mean, you're not the biggest guy out there, but boy, you've had such a great impact on this team last 2 or 3 years and everything. Just talk about just the opportunities that coach has given you, man, because he's never been afraid of playing freshmen, sophomores. Shoot, I think he's even done some eighth graders too. So, what's that like to kind of have that experience under your belt?
I mean, it's awesome. I mean, when I'm on the field, I don't always feel like the smallest guy, even though I know I am. But I know sometimes it could be to my advantage, and it's hard to tackle me when I'm not very big.
Kamal, last week at halftime, I think he had 153 yards rushing, and that's the stat that really jumped out at me. But yet the guy sitting right next to you winds up rushing for 272 yards and 8 carries. The last 5 times he just touched the ball, he scored touchdowns, which is unbelievable. And so, Zay, let me ask you, first of all, did you have a chance to go back and watch the film? Was it a 96-yard touchdown or was it 97?
I did go back and look, and it happened to be 96, unfortunately.
96. See, you're 3 feet short of setting a school record for the longest touchdown run. But it was funny because during the run, you told me you got a little tired, which is why you pointed for a block. But like, what's it like to break free and see that much grass in front of you?
I mean, it's super tiring. I mean, just running all the way across the field and avoiding all of the defenders, it gets pretty tiring. So I was pointing at him to try and get the last block for me because I didn't know if I was going to run out of gas or not.
For you guys coming up playing Dexter again, second time in a row that you guys have had to do this for the state championship. I think everybody kind of, even after last year, Will kind of mentioned to Coach Duran, I think everybody kind of had the expectation that this is what it was going to be again, that you guys are going to see each other again. What's that expectation like for you this year versus say last year? Because you didn't really know him as well as maybe you guys do now.
I mean, obviously it was a tough game last year, but so far we only know winning against his team. So we just plan to, give it to him the same this year. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, they were our best game last year, so I mean, I'm anticipating another pretty good game from them, but I mean, obviously we want to win that and beat them.
Guys, no one has pushed you since the Dexter game last year. You guys really, for the most part, all season, you've gone the entire year without having really been challenged at all. And like I mentioned, it's Coach Duran. During the Robertson game, it was 7-7 at one point, and then they had the ball to potentially take the lead. And that was like the first time I can remember all year where it felt like maybe things could go sideways for this team. And it would be interesting to see how you guys react. Was there a moment during that Robertson game where I think, you know what, this is kind of a new feeling for us, a new sensation?
I mean, definitely the pressure. For me, it feels good. That's kind of what I live for. So when it became close like that, it kind of made me excited and wanted to get out there more. So yeah.
Same for me. I was a little nervous at one point, but I knew that as long as we just keep playing our game and not let it get to our heads, that we'll come out on top.
How is Coach Fernan and really the entire coaching staff, how have they been able to keep you guys focused week in and week out? Because I mean, I'm sure at certain points it's like, yeah, Coach. I mean, we're playing Milwaukee. I mean, it could be easy just to say that, But how do they keep you guys just focused in and on what you need to do for that week?
I mean, they make sure to stress that we don't get complacent, and they try to keep us motivated every week, and we come in with the chip on our shoulders, so it's just we try to stay motivated every week and come out here and compete.
How do you find a chip, man? I mean, I just want to know. I mean, everybody has a chip on their shoulder about you, but how do you develop a chip on your shoulder?
I mean,
You're the favorites.
We just try not to like think of ourselves like as we're gonna kill this team. We always think like they always have a chance to beat us. So if we have to play our game in order to beat them first.
Yeah, I like Barron throwing Milwaukee under the bus right there. Man, just it was brutal. There's a lot of teams you could have just roasted right there. You picked Milwaukee, so that was.
Well, I know they don't think like that about Robertson.
No,
so
it's true. Look, man, you guys are.
Besides, Milwaukee's not going to be in their district next year, so I can get away with it.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want to. Just go full dumpster fire, man. Just do whatever you want. But look, guys, you're wrapping up your high school career for football, and there's been a lot of incredible memories. You guys have never really known losing. You've only known success. In the games you have lost in the playoffs, you've been right there on the cusp of a championship game. But like, do you guys have any one moment that kind of jumps out at you? Any game or moment or play that you think I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life?
I mean, last year at Ivanhead State Championship, that was, it felt great being a part of that victory, and knowing that we went back to back and that we have a chance to do it again this year it's a great feeling.
I mean, same for me. I think last year against Dexter was probably the game I'm going to remember the most. The one play that I remember is the return that I had, and I think that's probably my favorite game I've ever played.
Yeah, it's funny. Coach Duran just mentioned that too when he was on our podcast. Talked about that return kind of being one of the moments that turned that thing around too.
Yeah, it certainly did. Now let's talk a little bit about last year. I mean, you guys were close to kind of kicking that door open and really blowing them out and everything, and then they made that run on you. I mean, they scored 3 straight touchdowns there, and fortunately, because they kept going for it on the 2 points and everything, that they kind of kept you guys in the game and everything. But just talk about that ability to come back. I mean, because that was the first time I think all year you guys have been behind.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we had a couple of miscommunications, but I mean, we keep our head in the game, and we always know that we're gonna fight back and give our best shot. So yeah.
Yeah, like I said, we just had to play our game. We just had to make sure that we didn't get off focus, and we just kept pushing.
Kamal, I know I talked to you in the preseason about what kind of style you have. You described yourself as a gunslinger, a guy who's going to take some chances and maybe risk a few things. And to me, I think that implies maybe you're going to be turnover prone. You're going to take some throws that you maybe shouldn't have, but you haven't really done that. You haven't been a turnover guy at all. You've taken care of the ball, and you've engineered an offense that is as good as any team in 3A or 4A or maybe even 5A this season. So I'm curious where that level of, I don't know, you're just able to protect the ball. Where has that come from? Because a gunslinger is supposed to be the guy that throws the dumb interceptions. You're not doing that.
I mean, I come in every week and try to make the best decisions out there. So I'm not kind of out there, blind. But I do trust my athletes out there, my receivers, my running backs, my lines. So that gives me more of a chance to, step out of my comfort zone and make a big play.
A lot's been made of what you've done during the year, Kamal. But I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I think one thing that really separates you guys from everybody else, at least in 3A, is that you guys have got 5, 6 guys that are dangerous. That you can get the ball to and they can do something with. I mean, obviously Zay is one of those guys, but I mean, you look at Ryan. You look at Braden. I mean, shoot, even Victor. He's come up and made some big plays here for you guys as well. How much does that help you guys just having so many different weapons that it makes it hard for teams to try to defend you?
Yeah, definitely. You can't, when teams go against us, you can't just be focused on one guy. They have to be focused on the whole team. So it makes it a lot easier on me and Kamal and other guys to get big plays.
Yeah, I talked to both of you last week because I think the two of you combined for, God, I think it was over 450 yards of offense, probably even more than that. But what I liked is that the both of you talked about your offensive line, the contribution those guys make. Just talk about it. Like, no one ever really mentions the guys on the line. They're kind of these anonymous, faceless type people. But just mention some of these guys in the role that they play for your offense.
Most definitely. I feel like they definitely get overlooked. But honestly, I think the most important, piece of the team. So, big guy Devin, we got Jedrick, we got, a couple guys out like Preston and, who else is out? Bro? Zach is out. But we got Don, we got CJ stepping up onto the line. So Noah coming in as kicker and a left tackle. So these guys are just a big part, and their mentality coming in every week, knowing that we're gonna come in with a dog mentality to give the team in front of them a good look is what's important for us. So yeah.
Yeah, they definitely give us a good look. They're like I would say they're the most important guys on our team, because without them, we can't get the run going or the pass going, and that involves both of us. So they definitely are very important to this team.
And the way you guys have been able to work around those injuries, especially on the line, man, because you guys lost, 2 or 3 guys at key times during the season and everything. And now I know you guys are a little bit healthier, but talk about just how you guys have been able to adapt every single time you had an injury this year. Because I think that was the one thing everybody kind of wondered was, where was that depth going to come from? But you guys managed to make it work.
I mean, we definitely have younger guys that have been able to step up, and I think our coaches are what have prepared them. We try to prepare the younger guys, give them the best look, so when they have the opportunity, they can be ready.
Yeah, coach always tells us next man up. So that's the type of mentality that we have to have going in. So it doesn't matter if you're a younger guy; it's whoever's next has to step up.
You guys are going into what should be a hostile environment. That town is ready for this game. They've been waiting for this rematch for 12 months. What's the routine like for you guys when you go on the road, especially the minute you come out of the locker room? The majority of the people there are rooting against you. Does that help you get a level of focus and maybe get fired up in a way that you wouldn't have for a home game?
I mean, honestly, the hostile environment kind of fuels me when I hear the crowd going against us. It makes me want to perform better. So I think it definitely flips a switch in me for sure.
Same for me. I think it's like the best feeling in the world. Like last year at Santa Fe High, when I got that return, they just it was silent on their side, and I think that's the best feeling in the world. And all of our fans are cheering, and they're just completely silent.
I'm going to assume that you guys are going to be staying the night in Roswell before you head up to Dexter. Is that kind of the game plan right now, or do you guys go straight down there Saturday morning and just take care of business and get your butt back home?
I think we're going to stay the night, so we should stay the night in Roswell, and then we'll wake up early and travel to Dexter the next day.
You like that better than say doing that one night or that one day deal where you drive down, come back?
I mean, we haven't really had to do the drive down and come back, in a while. All season, pretty much this year, we've had a lot of home games. So we went to, which was pretty far, but I think this is our first time staying the night in a different town. So
And that's the thing is last year's team, you guys spent a lot of time on the road. And then this year, you spent almost the entire season inside the city of Santa Fe. I think there's only 2 trips outside the city of Santa Fe. How fun are the road trips though? Those seems like that's where all the memories are. You're on the bus. Like, what are the bus trips like? Or is Joey one of these coaches where he tells you to shut up and maybe watch your device, study plays? What's it like?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard.
Excuse. When you have to just sit up, I'll use that.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
I mean, it's kind of sad knowing that we don't really have many Friday night light games, but I mean, I play on Saturday. I think it's like the same thing. I still play the same. So
But you're not.
Yeah,
He doesn't tell you to be quiet and just kind of like. What's the mood like on the bus? I remember in high school the best trips were the long road trips because guys could goof off and kind of do their own thing. That was before the invention of cell phones, because that's how old James and I are. But what are the bus trips like for you?
I mean, we still have our fun, but coach keeps us in check. We can only have so much fun. So our bus trips are pretty mellow for the most part. And after we finish business and take care of the team in front of us is when we can loosen up a little bit.
What is it like when, I mean, you guys haven't lost in over 2 years now. What is that like for you guys? Does that become a source of pride, or does it kind of become I don't know if I want to say a burden and everything? Because, nobody wants to, I'm sure in the back of your minds, nobody wants to be that team that kind of stops the streak and everything. But I mean, how much pride do you take into that? 32 in a row right now.
I mean, I definitely don't see it as a burden. Obviously, it gives us some pressure, but that's the good part of it. So we can just keep it rolling. So yeah.
yeah, I think we deserve this win streak. I think we're very capable of keeping it going for next year too. So I think that's a very good thing.
Yeah, it's 32 games in a row now. If you win this weekend, 33, which would be 1 game short of tying for second place all time in the history of 11-man football in the state of New Mexico. Does that ever come up, the streak? Because I'm sure Kevin Hawk probably talks about the streak every single day. Maybe Jojo Padilla mentions it, but do you guys ever talk about the streak and what you've been able to do?
I mean, sometimes we do, but a lot of the times we try not to think about it and try to just play our game. We try to just like be ourselves and like not have that pressure on us to potentially lose that streak.
Exactly. We just take it week by week.
You guys have, and not just from a football standpoint, but you look at basketball, what you guys have been able to do there. You look at track, because I know you guys are there and involved in that, and as far as the success that they've had there. How much of those experiences that you've had, both basketball and track, how much does that help at the football side, especially when you guys keep playing in such high pressure situations like this? I got to imagine this almost feels like, yeah, it's just another. Does it become another game, or is it not? Because it is, going for the state championship.
I mean, being around the competitive environment pretty much all year round, it definitely shapes you and gets you ready for these type of moments. So, without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, basketball is always pretty intense, especially when it's a close game towards the end. The crowd's always hyped, so it definitely helps when the football team's in a closer game too.
All right, some time for some tough questions here. Who's the strongest guy on the team? I mean, the guy that you just don't want to mess around with, the guy that could probably lift a car and throw it across the parking lot. Who's that?
I mean, it's got to be Jetty. He's a junior. I don't know how much he weighs. He's got to be creeping up on 300 pounds, but he has some wheels on him. He's just a big, solid guy. So
you do not want to mess with him. He'll
really.
Mess you up.
Who's the fastest guy on the team?
Us two are up there. Braden's up there. Brandon was up there before he got hurt.
Ryan's got some wheels.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Roman, Victor, they can get up there as well.
You guys can all fly. Now, who's the guy in the locker room who just won't shut up? The guy that talks all the time. The guy, he's like the hype man, the talk guy. Who's that?
It's got to be CJ. He's always goofing around.
Who had a big interception last week too. He was huge.
Yeah, man. For sure. Yeah, he's a great player, but he likes to mess around sometimes. Right?
He's fun to be around, but
he's definitely fun to be around.
Can get annoying sometimes.
Well, he's one of those guys where he looks like he's out of place because he plays right in the middle of the line and he can't be more than 5'5", 5'6", just a little dude. But the guy plays larger than life when he's out there. What's he like on the field?
Yeah, he's always pretty competitive. He always takes pride in what he does. So he's a dog out there.
Who's the guy on the field that you got to worry about, man? The live wire there that you're like, hey, if there's a situation there, we got to make sure to get him first, so that way we don't get any penalties out of it.
Honestly, Jay will get fired up. Sometimes it'll be a flag thrown. We got to calm him down, but Jay's definitely one of those guys.
We had when we had Sonny Duran on here, we were talking about how Dexter has kind of really adopted this game, and they're really fired up for it. The community is ready for it. What's the mood like at St. Mike's? Because it's like, well, year 5 state championship game. Yeah, is it like that, or like what's the vibe like around the school?
I mean, it's kind of history. It's something that hasn't been done before. So obviously, there's a lot of animosity and a lot of energy around it. But we try not to keep it as the main focus. So yeah.
What is this like? I mean, what is it like playing on Thanksgiving? I mean, practicing on Thanksgiving. I mean, that's something you guys have been doing every single year for the last 5-6 years and everything. But is that experience kind of another part of the whole championship experience? Realizing that, hey, we're still alive and we're still playing.
Yeah, it definitely feels like tradition. Knowing that you're one of like 8 or 10 teams that are still practicing on that day, it's a great feeling to have.
What's the go-to dish for Thanksgiving? Like, what's the one thing you got to have on Thursday?
I'm saying mac and cheese. My grandma always chefs it up well, so
I like that cheese, Jeff.
Does she make it from scratch, or does she like get the Kraft and dump it in the pan? What does she do?
Scratch for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know the ways.
I gotta say ham and mashed potatoes. Those are probably my 2 favorite dishes on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you guys don't strike me as the kind of guys that are going to go in the kitchen and start cooking food. So who cooks the food for you?
My auntie and my grandma do most of the cooking for us. So I'm very, very thankful for that.
My grandma pretty much handles it all, so just gotta love it.
They don't delegate authority and say, "Come on, man, get over here and make some stuffing." They don't do that.
I was gonna say, can they just kick you guys out of the kitchen because they know you're just gonna get
I'll set the table here and there, pick up some trash, but yeah, I'll trust me.
I'll help out a little bit.
I'll burn the house down.
All right, give me some bulletin board material. Give me what's the final score going to be? You don't even have to tell me who's going to win. What's the final score going to be? Look at that. I see they're both looking at each other. Somewhere Joey Fernandez is freaking out over this. It's like, oh my God, what are they going to say?
Something wrong. Yeah. Something is wrong in the world.
I mean, we'll try not to let them score, but maybe if they do score, we'll call it like 57 to 7.
Yeah, I'd say 50 something to 7. I say they score.
Wow. I like the 67 part better, man. That just sounds even more.
7.
Yeah, and you got to do that all in the first half if you're going to get to 67.
Yeah.
You got enough time to do that, or are you going to make sure you get enough time?
We'll make sure.
Man. I think Mike Patel, the St. Mike's historian, who, by the way, texts me every single Sunday, an encyclopedia worth of information that I'll probably never have to use. He said that you guys I think you have to score in the neighborhood of 70 points to set the school record for most points in a single season, which was set, I think, 20-some years ago by a team that played 14 games. So you guys are right on pace. If you just had 2 more games, you could cross over 600 points for the season, which is. So 67, I could actually see you guys doing that if you had enough time. If it weren't for that mercy rule, man, you guys could get there. But
I mean, maybe we'll let them get in a few more times so that we can rack it up. We'll see.
Joey Butler will never let you give up more than 10 points. He won't let that happen.
Wow, I love the confidence, though, man. I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, you guys are great. Thanks for We're going to wrap it up, but it's always it's a pleasure having high school athletes on, especially 2 guys who are of your magnitude. You guys have carried that football team. Part of the big reason why this team is 12-0 and going for a 3rd state championship. But Isaiah Dominguez, Kamal Stith, thanks for talking to us, and we will see you for sure on Saturday afternoon. And good luck.
Yes, much appreciated. Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for
I
having us,
appreciate it.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come right back and wrap this thing up. All right, we're back, and I cannot believe that those two guys gave us predictions for the
We
game.
wanted bulletin board material, but I didn't expect that.
Yeah. I was thinking it would be something around the, like 14-10 something. No, but they went straight for the
They went
jugular.
for it, man. Well, kudos for them, man. I love the confidence. I love what the bar that they're setting. But man,
Yeah.
oh boy, you know that's gonna be floating around the next 2 days in
Oh
Dexter.
man.
So
Yeah.
I might see some 67-7 signs out there, especially if it's not.
And Joey Fernandez we might be banned during the post game huddle that they usually do. He might say, and the last thing, no one talked to the guys from the Mexican anymore. So yeah, apologies for that. If I got those two guys in trouble, apologies for that. Although they did answer the question, I didn't have to. They could have just said no comment.
They could have been diplomatic about it. We weren't going to pressure them.
You don't have to answer, but hey, while we're here, what do you think the final score is going to be? We're going to crush them. We're going to kill those guys.
After they needed somebody from like UNM, one of the SID people, like, don't answer that question.
Just see disembodied hands set on one of their shoulders. Like,
all of a sudden they go mute.
Like, you guys don't need to do that. So the game.
Well, shoot, if they've thrown down the gauntlet, why don't we, man?
Exactly. That's what I was going to go. You and I could make our own predictions, and look, if you pick St. Mike's to win the last 32 games, you're undefeated. You've been right every single time.
Yeah. So why go away from that?
Right. You have 12-0 St. Mike's, the undefeated, top-ranked, top-seeded team in Class 3A on the road against Dexter, the number 2 seed of they're 10-1, because they had the Pewaukee game kind of wiped out at halftime because of weather, so they didn't actually get to play that other game. But yeah, the one team, it seems like they could, if there's anyone out there that can maybe give St. Mike's a run for their money, it's Dexter. So James, I'll let you be the first guy to throw some shade on one of those two teams. How do you see it
it's
out?
definitely not going to be 67-7, no matter what.
67.
But I will say this, just kind of looking back at and kind of comparing some notes there that I had from last year's game. Remember they were about to blow the game wide open there in the third quarter. I mean, they were up 2 touchdowns already, and then things kind of got away from them. There was a turnover. Dexter turns it into a touchdown. They got on a roll a little bit. I really do think that St. Mike's is just playing at such a level. I just don't see Dexter. I mean, that last year's Dexter team had that similar ability because they had 3 or 4 guys that you could get the ball to. This team, not quite so much. I mean, it's a 2-man show for the most part, and that's not to say that the other guys can't contribute. But I just look at this St. Mike's team, and I just don't see how Dexter can stay with them. I think it's probably going to be a 35-7, 35-13 kind of game. I think that's my prediction is 35-13 St. Mike's.
Yeah, I would agree. Because the thing that St. Mike's, look, they do a lot of things very well. Yeah. But defensively, they are so good at taking the one thing that you do very, very well and eliminating it. New Mexico Military, a very good running team. They couldn't move the ball at all on it at all. You have Robertson, which is all about their quarterback. They neutralize the quarterback. Same thing with Hope. Hope Christian is all about their quarterback, and they focus 3 or 4 guys on him every single play. You make somebody else beat you, and they've done that over and over and over again. And the only team that actually moved the ball with any kind of halfway regularity was Academy, and Academy threw the heck out of it. The Academy is probably the best passing team they'd seen all season. So if there's any kind of soft underbelly to the St. Mike's defenses, maybe they're vulnerable against the pass. But look, the Dexter coach
nobody's been able to exploit it.
Yeah, the Dexter coach just came on here, said they're not a passing team. They can throw the ball. They threw for 1,100 yards this year, but they're just not a team that throws more than 12 times a game. So I think St. Mike's, I think they do win this game somewhere in the neighborhood of 40-6 or 40 to maybe 12, because course, Dexter's not a kicking team, so I think it'll be some combination of that, maybe like a 40-16 type thing. But if they give up more than 10 points, the St. Mike's defensive coaches are going to come home.
Oh yeah, they're going to be mad.
Yeah, they're going.
I think they were mad last year when they gave up 26.
Yeah, but I think they complete three-peat, and they extend their winning streak to 33 games, which of course going into next year, if they win the season opener, they tie for the second longest streak of all time. Just an incredible run that St. Mike's is on, and you look at up and down their roster, they're going to be good next year. The only question is who's going to throw the ball for them? Who's going to be the starting quarterback next season? So
exactly. And I mean, I know they've got a couple of young guys that are coming up. I'm not sure if they're going to be ready next year, but I just foresee kind of St. Mike's still being maybe not the team to beat, but they're definitely going to be one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the state next year. What may not be to the level that it has been the last couple of years, but I mean, they're still going to be a tough out. And then, obviously we got to wait and see what happens with with classification and alignment.
Mm-hmm.
It appears that there will be some shifts. I think one of the things that I saw was that they were going to go back to a 4-team conf or a 4-team district, where it'd be the Vegas schools and Hope. With Milwaukee moving up to 4A. So we'll see what happens there, and we'll and then once we kind of know what the lay of the land is going to be for 3A next year, we can kind of probably make a better prediction as far as how that's going to look like. But as it stands right now, I still think St. Mike's is going to be the team to beat, at least for the next 2 years, maybe even 3.
Yeah, I think Milwaukee moving up is just the rottenest news that they could get, because it's kind of like what Santa Fe High was 20-some years ago with their football team, where they were just starting to make progress, and then they moved them up to the highest classification. Moving up is not necessarily a good thing, and so Milwaukee is just kind of hitting their stride in 3A. They found a home, and now they're like, well, you're too big for us. You got to leave.
So. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the fortunate thing for them is that they're going, because it looks like we're getting rid of these huge districts that we've had for the last couple of years, and we're going back to the way things were before. That means they don't have to play Bloomfield, which would be nice. They don't have to play Bernalillo or Grants, which I'm sure Zeke Villegas wouldn't mind playing those teams.
Yeah.
But again, there's a lot to anticipate. And we'll find out actually next week. While we were talking, we got an email from JP Murrieta with the NMAA, basically pointing out, hey, we got the board meeting on the 4th, and then a special meeting on the I think on the 10th, where basically that means that's classification and realignment, and we're going to see how things play out there.
Yeah, it's like a seismic shift every few years that comes about, but this one definitely pertains to some of the schools in and around the Santa Fe area. Like, does the Indian school move up into a classification for football? Do they? Just things along those lines. There's a lot of changes coming. Not necessarily the best of moves, but I think for some of the schools like Santa Fe High, it could be extremely beneficial for them. And
it could be.
Yeah, I like the idea of smaller districts. These mega districts just don't seem to work anymore. But it's the end of another fall season. We finally wrapped up.
I know, we made it.
Yeah, we got through.
Made it.
Yeah, no. Basketball has already started, and I haven't thought 1 second about basketball. So it's like, I'm still kind of dealing with the aftermath of all the football stuff. But yeah, we finally got here, and it's same as it has been for the last 5 years. St. Mike's is the last team standing. So
that's right. Yeah.
What are you gonna do? But yeah, look, that'll put a wrap on it this week. It's been our special edition 2 podcast episode this week. Of course, we had Sonny Duran, the Dexter coach, on earlier this week, and then today's guests, the 2 athletes from St. Mike's, Stith and Dominguez and Kamal Stith, just 2 really good guys, great, very approachable young kids, and those are athletes that'll forever be remembered in the city of Santa Fe for what they've been able to do. So looking forward to this weekend.
For sure.
Yeah, but thanks for tuning in. All those you're watching at home, happy Thanksgiving. And those of you who make the trip down to Dexter, be safe, and we'll see you down there.